So this is part A of the KHOODEELAAR television channel, broadcasting on the internet, not on a satellite, not on terrestrial, not on cable. This is the Baby Angel Geronimo editions. KHOODEELAAR television channel, part A. Broadcasting time is 22:40 hours GMT, London, UK, Friday, 16th of December 2022, only on the internet. This is the part of the month of December when things happened in Dhaka, then East Pakistan, and on the 16th of December, the Indian government, as fronted by Indira Nehru, Jawaharlal Nehru's daughter, who was the Prime Minister of India, mounted a detailed, concerted aerial attack on the Pakistan army, forcing the Pakistan army to surrender. That was Indira Gandhi's victory on the 16th of December. And to this day, the current Bangladesh regime, fronted by Sheikh Hasina, is in awe of the liberation of Bangladesh by India from the West Pakistani military. And this is the day when in Dhaka, in the postgraduate hospital, a young woman from Dinajpur in northern Bangladesh, a young woman called Husneara, worked as a nurse. Husneara from Dinajpur worked as a nurse at the postgraduate hospital in Dhaka. The postgraduate hospital is not far from the University of Dhaka mosque, where the rebel poet Qazi Nazrul Islam is buried. And it was at that hospital, postgraduate hospital, that Qazi Nazrul Islam was treated by Professor Nurul Islam. And Professor Nurul Islam treated Qazi Nazrul Islam. Before doing that, he treated Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. And years before doing that, he treated me at the same hospital. When Professor Nurul Islam treated me, I had a kind of fever. And what happened on the occasion of the Indian aerial bombardment of East Pakistan, Dhaka, that is, the entire postgraduate hospital was evacuated. It was evacuated and I wasn't even aware. Apparently, they left me under the bed of a hospital bed because I was too ill to be carried away to any so-called safety due to the bombardment by the Indian army. And I cannot remember the exact date when they came back. But when people came back to the hospital, one of the visitors who visited me was the one who told me what had happened. I said, "What had happened?" I asked, "What happened?" And he said, "The place was bombarded and the hospital was evacuated. Everyone left. And you were the only one who was left here under the bed. A hospital bed in the postgraduate hospital." So it must have been, between 14, 15, 16 December 1971. I had a fever, and my doctor on record at that time was Professor Nurul Islam. Now, He wasn't Professor Nurul Islam. He was just a doctor in December 1971 called Dr. Nurul Islam. It was many years later that he was known as the leading neuro, neurologist in Bangladesh. I never met him because when I went back to the hospital looking for my stuff, my belongings, there was nothing left of my belongings in my bed, whatever, and there was nothing left of the hospital personnel. It was the most threadbare personnel that I found sometime in January 1972. And I was still not able to walk. I was walking like I was walking with a very slow pace. When I went back to Silot, before returning to the hospital to find out if I had any of my belongings, I couldn't find any. But even back in Silot, I was unable to walk properly. I was too weak. I can't remember how long it took me before I gained ordinary, normal kind of mobility. That was December, January 1971, 72. With me from Silot to Dhaka to the postgraduate hospital was a man, a family relation, very close family relation. I am not naming him, not because I could not name him, but because if I name him, this program would become very different quality. Because what he did was not to believe that I was in that hospital. Anyone who knows about situation where hospitals are bombed or hospital adjacent areas are bombed and any number of casualties are created. Any number of people are killed, maimed, injured, etc., etc. And even though those who become physically able to survive, like I did, they are put under severest possible psychological challenge to reconstruct their equilibrium. That is what I went through for months. So, this man who wanted to see what the hospital was like, because they didn't believe that I was in the hospital. And when there was nothing in the hospital, there was no cupboard, there was no filing system, nothing. He, this lying individual, suggested that I had invented all of it. I never invent anything, you liar. And you rot in hell, you Beiman. I still remember struggling to walk along the. When I regained consciousness in December, say about 17, 18, or 19th of December 1971, I tried to walk on the corridor, on the balcony of the postgraduate hospital. And I was walking like 2, 3 inches at a time. I was that weak. I had never been ill until then, not that I could remember, and I had never been so ill and so weak. So, this shaitan, member of the family, this shaitan was undergoing the satanic brainwashing that swept the whole of the region. And he cheaply concluded that I had not been in the hospital. Now, nobody could find anything there. Everyone was in shock, not because of any particular side in the so called war that any of them took. It was sheer physical shock of being able to survive what happened. I didn't hear it because I was unconscious. I was unconscious under the bed in hospital for how long I don't know. I still don't know. Because the man who visited me and told me that the evacuation had taken place and I had been the only one left behind, I have seen him since, but I have not had the time or the necessary opportunity to ask him if he could remember. Now, this is the 11 minutes. I am going to resume this edition later because this is 11 minutes 23 seconds.